So when you first got the role of Felicity, did you expect it to just be a one-shot deal?
Yeah, that's exactly what I expected. In Vancouver sometimes it said possibly recurring, but you never know. I mean, it is what it is. You go in for one day, you hope so bad it's going to be recurring, and then when I got the second episode, I was just like, yeah, and I thought like for sure that was going to be it, and here I am.
Yeah, and now it's series regular for season 2. What was your reaction when you found that out?
I was ecstatic. I was extremely thankful, grateful, honored. I'm not usually speechless. I'm pretty speechless about it. I'm very excited. We have such an excellent cast. Our creative team is extraordinary. I mean, the story that they go through in the first season, if you look at it from bookend to bookend, is just huge. I mean, what are they doing? I don't even know. What are their brains like? Yeah, I'm super thankful.
And were you surprised by the instant fan reaction when Felicity was on for just one scene?
I mean, I guess I was kind of in shock because I never really looked at the fan base and, went, I was always like, oh, that's so nice. They like her. I'm really glad that they like her. I mean, that's a huge compliment to me and a huge compliment to our creative and our writing team. And I was just like so happy about that. And then thanks to the fans and the reaction, I mean, they brought me back. And I mean, I was, that was great for me. And I got to explore Felicity more. So that's what I'm really excited about.
So while they're all down in the lair, Oliver's doing shirtless exercises. How does Felicity concentrate?
Concentrate? She just stares at him. She's like, oh, there you are. Shirtless and getting a spray down. She's a great multitasker. How's that sound?
Nice. And how do you, as an actress, concentrate when Stephen's doing that?
I don't know. He's obviously extremely good looking, but we're working, and Stephen and I are friends, and it's just really fun. I always bug him too if he's going to show up. It's like, I'm going to have a great day today.
So, is it possible at all that Felicity might not be everything she appears to be? Like, is there any possibility she could be like a mole from Malcolm Merlyn or something evil like that?
Oh, gee. Not that I know of, actually. But that would be very interesting, hey? I don't think so, no. What we do get to see of Felicity is see her sort of dissolve her fears a little bit, going out into the field and that sort of thing. And I think that's something to look forward to.
And there's something coming up with her going undercover. Can you talk about that?
Yes, she goes undercover, and she looks fine. She goes undercover. She volunteers to go undercover, which is different from episode 15 when she went. And also different, she doesn't have a bomb collar to her neck, but the stakes are even higher, and the danger's even greater. And she's in there trying to keep composed, undercover, surrounded by people that are extremely dangerous.
So why does Felicity stick by Oliver at that time? Because I think I read in the synopsis that, Diggle and Tommy are kind of mad at him at the moment. Something along those lines?
Yes. I think Felicity doesn't get in. She gets involved in the sense that she wants to have everyone honest with each other and work things out. But she's not going to judge everyone individually on what happened between them. If it involves her or not, I think she takes, what's really strong about Felicity is that she takes her own view and looks at things very objectively. And I think that comes from working with computers, because there's literally a one-way, it's either you do this and it works or you do this and it doesn't. And, she looks at things objectively and she goes, okay, this works and this works, and, there's pros and cons to both situations. And I think that's really admirable about her.
Now, who in the cast have you become closest with? Because I see all these pictures that you guys tweet,
Colton and I are really good friends. Colin and I live a building away from each other on the same block, so Colin and I hang out a lot. I get to work with Stephen and David a lot, so we're all really close. And I get to see Katie every so often, which is awesome, and Willa too. I hang out with Willa too, so... yeah, I get to hang out with Colton, I think the most. Colton and I get along really well, and Colin, because he's hilarious. Colin's like the funniest person I know, and he's extraordinary and brilliant and super talented.
Well, some people had seen the pictures of you hanging out with Colton and were wondering, when are Roy and Felicity going to have a scene together?
I don't know, guys. Not in the first season, maybe in second. I can give you that much.
And what can you tease about the season finale that you're allowed to talk about?
I'm not allowed to talk about much, but I can tell you that it's enormous. you think 22. I think you'll hear this not only from me, 22 could be the season finale, and it's not. So think about taking that one step higher. Your, amount of oxygen you will intake will be very limited, I think, during the finale, and I think everyone will really enjoy it. Super high stakes, lots of danger, lots of sacrifice.
I'm sure you get this question all the time, but what are the possibilities of romance between Felicity and Oliver?
Possibilities of Olicity. Olicity's a great ship. I don't know who came up with it. I would love to meet the first person who came up with it. It's great. I don't know. I've said this since Olicity sort of started being shipped, that we get to see the relationship evolve. We get to see them become more honest with one another and see them open up. And Oliver doesn't open up to very many people, and when you meet someone who doesn't open up to very many people, that you can feel that, and you can feel yourself admiring them. And you love someone that you're friends with, and you love someone that you can look up to, and you love someone you can admire and be honest with. And I think those are all the right steps into making a relationship, but they also don't guarantee that one's going to happen.
And what about the possibility of Felicity and someone else, like maybe Diggle or?
That'd be kind of fun. I don't know. I think Felicity will earn a romance or some sort of interesting romance friendship in season 2. I mean, I'm not sure because I don't know much about that, but I think she has earned it, and I think it's extremely possible.
What would you like to see for her in season 2 in general?
Well, I'd like to see her home life. I mean, I would like to learn more about her home life and where she comes from, and obviously I'd like to see her doing combat, but that's for me, not for Felicity. I don't think she'd be probably too coordinated. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd like to see more of her home life, maybe where she comes from, who her parents are.
Do you think she could ever put on a costume?
Well, I mean, she kind of does when she puts on a dress, but if she puts on a cape, I don't know. Would her cape be purple? I don't know. Just saying.
And had you followed comic books at all before getting this role?
I hadn't really. I was never introduced into that world, and I'm really happy I am now because I love it.
And have you seen the comic book version of Felicity Smoak? She's quite different.
She's quite different. I mean, she's older, and there's Richard Raymond, and we have that whole thing with Firestorm. So obviously that's we're staying away from actual superpowers in the show. So there are things that won't happen and things that will, and I like how the creative, our writers and our creative team have picked and chose what they sort of want and what direction they want the show to go in. But yeah, I'm not that tall. I'm not brunette. I'm not that old. She's smart. I don't know if she was awkward. She wasn't very awkward in the series. I think she was sort of like straight to it. You know what I mean? But I love Felicity and Arrow. I love her. I think she's awesome.
Do you have anything exciting planned for the summer hiatus, like any movies or anything like that?
Well, I am auditioning this week, so I'll keep you posted.
Nice. And a fan on Twitter had asked, are you planning any convention appearances?
I don't quite know yet. I hope to be. And I will let you know as soon as I do. Because it would be really fun to meet you.
And, sorry, is there anyone that you'd like to work with that you haven't gotten to work with yet on the series?
I really want to work. Well, I'd love to work with John Barrowman. I get to be on set with him and be he's awesome. I mean, everyone's seen the little musical we put together. And Susanna, I'd love to work with everyone, but I'd love to work with Susanna. I really admire her. I admire her work a lot. I admire everyone's work, but I would really like to work with Susanna, who I haven't gotten a chance to work with.
And why do you think that the audience has connected to Felicity so well?
I think she's relatable. I think that she is honest, and she doesn't, because she doesn't have a filter, she doesn't hold back what she's thinking. And, she helps out a superhero, and she's got all these cool gadgets.
What did you think when you received the script where Felicity found out what was going on, by the way?
Well, I liked what Felicity said in that script too. She was like, I'm not stupid. I'm not an idiot. You gave me an energy drink and a syringe, right? I don't think she was shocked to find out that Oliver was the Hood, but I think that she was surprised that she actually hadn't labeled it earlier. Because, I mean, what do you think? That Oliver Queen is going to be the villain? No, you don't think that. Because you just don't. It's impossible to think. That's why Oliver hasn't been found out yet. It is impossible to think. But I think it's important. And I think Felicity was scared. She's really, she's still frightened, but we get to see her sort of dissolve her fears, like I said. And yeah, when she first found out, unstill waters.
Do you think that Oliver is a better person or better at what he does now that Felicity is part of his gang?
I think, they're learning from each other. And I think that's what happens in our relationships in our everyday life. And I think whether or not he's a better person, I think she's opened his eyes to other aspects. These are real people, like you are killing real people, whether or not they're bad guys. And you are a real person, and you can't get lost in playing the vigilante, or else you're going to destroy your personal life.
And what can you tease about this Wednesday's episode, Home Invasion?
There is tension between the Scooby Gang, as Natalie labeled me earlier, us earlier. Diggle and Oliver get into a little bit of tension, and Felicity has to play Switzerland, very neutral.
But the undercover episode is the week after, correct?
Yes.
Undertaking. And what's this about Felicity and Big Belly Burger? Is that the same episode?
That is episode 22.
And what is the context of that? Can you talk about that? You're like looking at Ben.
She is undercover again. And it's part of her facade. It's part of her facade.
And
it helps her. It helps her move around. She's not in a dress. So
fishnets? Anything like that? No fishnets. Sorry, I'm like jumping around.
Don't apologize. It's fun.
So, are there any other characters that she might meet by season's end that you're allowed to tease?
She does get to meet a couple more characters. We do get to see that. She doesn't really get to involve herself too much with other characters. Our characters cross paths. She gets to see. I think she says hi to Laurel at some point, but there's nothing crazy.
So no one's gonna figure out that Oliver's been hanging out with the IT girl from.
No, nobody knows.
On that note, what happened to that job? Is she still doing it?
She is still doing it.
Okay.
As of right now, but Queen Consolidated is sort of fiddling away. Walter's gone, and Moira is focused on other things and over her head. And Queen Consolidated is still working, and she's still working there. She does show up to work in show up to the foundry in her work clothes most of the time. And yeah, she is still there, so you can still find her there, but she's not there very often.
And if and when Walter is possibly found, will Felicity feel that her job is done?
I think she's more involved in that now. I think she's sort of left that condition when she negotiated her team, being part of the team. She's found another reason to stay.
Okay, well, do you have anything else you'd like to say to the fans who might be watching this?